Bonjour. Oh, you all know, if you've watched any of these videos before, you all know this is my favourite time of the week. New comic book day. And another week where I find 5 comics that I can just waffle about because they're good. I'm not saying these are the iconic moments. The iconic moments, is that a word? Can I just invent that? Iconic moments, like a Dark Knight Returns, or you know, a Batman Year One, or I don't know why I'm going all Batman. You know what I mean. Nevertheless, there's always a reason every single week why I love this hobby. Call me what you want, but this video right here every week, and this is the 50th edition. So just a quick thank you to everyone that is tuning in. Give me a little like and a comment. You know, there's a few of you, all your regulars, but if you're just dropping in, leave me a comment. If you don't like it, tell me why. It'll help me grow and be a better person. But in the meanwhile, we are going to take a deep dive on the top 5. We're going to do, I always call them the also rans, but just the ones I'm going to give a quick mention. And I've got another whinge of the week. Yeah, I know. I said I wouldn't make it a regular feature, but yeah, well, I've got to warn you guys. You know, if I can help you avoid a turkey this time of year, just before Christmas, I will. Anyway, let's get on with it. Right, first one up, Guardians of the Galaxy. And I know I have done this before, but I'll keep banging on about it until you all start reading it, until you all start buying it. And I don't know if there's going to be a graphic novel collection or what, but that if you love the films, or if you love a nice mix of the comic book style characters before the films, mixed with the characters we come to know and love in the films, in the movies, that's just a good. It is. It's just a good read. This goes from strength to strength. Got to do a deep dive on this one because it just goes from strength to strength. Artwork superb. This Echo who does the artwork, you know, on AWA always does a decent series. AWA are always worth a try, whatever they're doing. First, when Chip Zdarsky and George Jimenez get together to do Batman, it's a good thing. Enough said. We're going to do a deep dive on that. The controversial one of the week, guys. Come on. What's this one all about? Does it live up to it? We shall see. It's not my whinge of the week, by the way. So, and it's in my top 5 for the deep dive. What I will say is there's a lot to talk about here, because I've been a Punisher fan from way back. So there is a lot to talk about. I might even do a separate video about it. Anyway, let's keep on track. And the book of the week for me, Transformers. This, even if you're not, I'm not the most massive Transformers fan, but I've found myself just falling in love with this comic. The way they're laying it out, the way they're doing the storyline, Daniel Warren Johnson and how he's going about his business. Everyone involved in this, and with this the further Energon storylines. Yeah, really enjoying it. And it's only 2 issues. Really enjoying it. And the also rans. This Mark Waid. Mark Waid and it's Dan Moore, isn't it? You know what I'm like. Yeah, Dan Moore's artwork in conjunction. I don't know why I always say it, but they make it look easy. And I'm not a big DC fan, and particularly not of this character, but there's something really enjoyable about this comic. It's just something that it's issue 5 now. Yeah, and I've got no complaints, for this one either. This Vampirella story, and again, I've kind of drifted in and out of these stories since Year Dot, and this one, I've got to say, I'm just really enjoying the art style. It's almost when Vampirella was first created. I don't know whether that was in the 70s, whatever it was, but yeah, just a nice, and another horror comic, Dark Ride, that continues to be such an interesting concept and storyline. You know, the fact that you can do a horror themed theme park. And the story that they're telling about the twins, the sister and the brother in that, is really nice. As always, Jeff Lemire is always going to give you, he's never going to let you down, ever. What I will say about this one, just before I go on to my proper whinge of the week, is Jeff, you've got to get on with it now. This, by the way, I will recommend this, but only in graphic novel. Don't bother picking up, don't bother chasing up back issues for this. We're 6 issues in, and I've got to say, you could have done it in 3. I'm not saying the storyline, the concept, the artwork, the characters aren't any good, but guys, you're really dragging this one out. This should have been over and done with, or nearly on its way. Say 8 issues storyline, and they're not. Sorry, but on to the whinge of the week, and it's Jonathan Hickman on this. Yeah, I don't know what it is that's not getting this just isn't floating my boat at all. And this particular issue, as I'm flicking through it, it's like the Aiko Maki main character and 2 girls just chatting throughout. You know, Doctor Strange is in it, but nah. It's a bit like Disney Plus in comic form, where there's a lot of walking, a lot of sitting down, a lot of talking, and not a lot happens. And it's like, I don't know what Jonathan Hickman is trying to get at. I'll probably give it 1 more issue. But, God, you know, I don't mind a slow burn. Don't get me wrong. Don't mind a slow burn. But, you know, Anyway, join me after the scroll for a deep dive on the good stuff, on the 5 comics that impressed. So, let's go. So, straight into the good old Guardians of the Galaxy. And if you've been following my videos for any length of time, you know I've been Colin Kelly, Jackson Lanning writing this, Kev Walker. There's something about a duo. It takes me back to the Abnett and Lanning Guardians, like back in the 90s in the early 2000s, and Kev Walker's artwork on this. Just a great, I don't know, a sci-fi western it's been so far. Now, eponymous heroes are in group full now, and they were group. And this is I've got to say, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff, I know, but Kev Walker's artwork has never been as fluid as this. Helped by the, I've got to say, with the colouring, and you know I always have to turn back. Matt Hollingsworth, who is a colour art, and this is the right description, a colour artist. Walden Wong inking it. These guys all working together. Corey Petit on the letters. Let's just give a shout out to the whole team on this book, because for is it 9 issues now? Oh, 8 issues. For 8 issues now, this has been a consistently great comic. And like I say in the intro, it is a nice mix of the cinematic heroes that we know. You know, this isn't the cinema. This isn't Chris Pratt Star-Lord. It's the comic Star-Lord, but how he talks is the cinematic one. So it's just a nice. This isn't old Batista. You know, is that really the cinematic Rocket Raccoon? But I can just hear, like I've said previously, I can hear the voices of the actors as I read it. This issue, we learn that Groupful, our gang, aren't dead. They're resurrected, basically, via their old mate group. So they go back to the Whitecaps, which is right back to issue 1. And yeah, and attack the Whitecaps, and basically, yeah, here we go. Look, and sci-fi action ensues. Look, Zack, Shunk, Pop, Slice, Thoom. You're not going to get more comical. Should I call it comical? I don't mean comedic. I nearly said comedic then, but this is good stuff. Look, if you like the Guardians of the Galaxy, this is all good. All good. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more. There isn't a lot more to say apart from this rolls along really, really well. They're giving us a lot of more background to the whole Groupful thing, and and spoiler alert, by the way, spoiler alert if you're not getting this, you want to get in graphic novel or pick up the back issues. But basically, what they're saying is the Groupful works. It's not attacking, it's trying to resurrect. So, you know, this is kind of a turning point in the story. I like the fact that they've got like Groot guns that fire out, I don't know, some kind of Groot energy, which is great. And I'll leave, like I normally do, I won't go straight to the last page, just in case there's an extra spoiler in there. I don't know why they're all muddied up on the cover, to be fair. But no, that's a solid start to the week. And this, J. Michael Straczynski's going for it in this one. And I've got to say, the artist Echo, who is on this book, it's in these moments, you know, not the big double, as much as I love a double page action splash scene, it is moments like this where it's Straczynski's quite precise dialogue that needs the artwork to really make it flow and really make it fizz, like she's asking for at the end of this panel, like, oh, toss me my shoes. So I don't know out of Echo and JMS that worked out exactly how this panel was going to work with this guy holding the gun, her talking and trying to convince him not to shoot her, and telling him to pass her shoes. There is so much going on in all of this that it's a properly good a properly good story, and well told through, and you know I'm going to say it, through graphic storytelling, through the art of comics. Then we're straight into the action stuff now. We got our main character is trying to kill this character because she was a part of something to do with killing her family in issue 1, and it goes from there. And in JMS's hands, this storyline, this is all dialogue. There's no action in here. There's no action. Acco's artwork makes it look a bit action-packed. Look, there's a little attack, which is very well executed. Even these panels here, leading on from the story we've just been led through, is nice. Even, you know, to the these panels falling out of the page. This is good comics. I just really enjoyed it. This is good comics. This is great art. The artist is being allowed to romp free within the storyline that JMS is setting out. Yeah, and it's superheroes. It's superheroes, but not deconstructed. Yawn. These aren't deconstructed superheroes. They're just kind of placed in the modern world, really. They're just looked at from a different point of view, and I love the design. I love the design of this character. Really does make it work. Nice inclusion of the letter in there, to be fair. Yeah, and this is a 6 issue. I think this is all 6. This is going to be 4 or 6. So it really did ramp up this issue as far as action and the grit of the you know, if J. Michael Straczynski can't tell, if he can't tell a story, and no one can, and he's done a stand-up job there. Someone else who does a stand-up job always is Chip Zdarsky, and they're back. George Jimenez, in conjunction with Chip Zdarsky on the writing duties, and look at this. This is just, and like I said last week about the Detective Comics, it's how you like your Batman. How do you? It's the eternal question. How do you like your Batman? Well, when it's got a splash page like that, that's how I like my Batman. And this is a good episode 1 of a new storyline. You know, we don't quite know where it's going, but look at this. This is beautiful stuff. I don't care what anyone said. This is beautiful stuff. This is how you want your Batman. He's on the balcony. He's on the railings. Now he's opening the doors, prizing the doors open. Look, the rain behind him. All you know, more or less a silhouette. And now he's inside. Look, his boots. He really shouldn't be contaminating the crime scene like that, to be fair. If I was going to be nitpicking, and then this is reminiscent of the last Batman film, where you kind of had this mysterious crime scene. Look, there's all the bats here with the needles, you know, and these big pins in them and all that. So you can see why, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I like this issue, this first, because it's an intriguing storyline, and he's got to be a detective in this storyline, and it is gothic. So it's got all the elements of the Batman character and the Batman stories that I most like. Look, you know, all the creepy dolls here. Look, yeah, just really, really enjoyed it. You know, it's obviously alluding to someone. This isn't him, but it's an acolyte of his. But you know, it's leading us up the garden path somewhere, introducing us to old characters from Gotham's history that link into some other Batman comics. So this was a thoroughly decent look at, you know, visuals like this, artwork like this, you know, George Jimenez bringing it. Love it. Love it. Was there a backup story in this? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Don't know if there was a backup story in this, which, yeah, there was a backup story that isn't worth talking about, to be fair. But the main comic book definitely is. Oh, now up next. Right. Now, where do we start? A Punisher for the New Age. Not Frank Castle. No. I don't know what else David Pepose and Dave Wachter have done, writer and artist team, on this. But it was it's a solid start. that's what I will say. It's a solid start. There is still a part of me, and I'm a geeky old hog, and Frank Castle is my Punisher. So you've got to realise that for the best part of 45 years. Now, all of you out there, you must realise how long a period of time 45 years is, right? So, I'm saying to you, 45 years is the amount of time I've followed Frank Castle as the Punisher, whether it's in comics, whether it's in books, graphic novels, or film, right? But that's my problem. That's not anyone else's, that's mine. So, but what I will say this, it was mean, it's mean and moody. There's a new character, Garrison his name is, which is a pretty cool name to be fair. I don't know what his first name is actually. And yes, spoiler alert, so turn your ears away, turn it off now if you don't want to read the storyline to issue 1 of Punisher. I'll give you another minute. Not a minute, no, I'll give you another 20 seconds. That's about that. It is the same old story of Garrison's family being murdered, right? But they have left it a bit more loosey-goosey. And here we are, we've got this character, the new Punisher, and he hasn't set out to be the Punisher, which I thought was a pretty cool setup. This is basically the power packs on the body armor, which, yes, I know, there might be a few of you rolling your eyes, but here's our action scene where he's tackling these. You know, he's on a mission. He's on a mission, and we don't quite know how he's come about it, and how, you know, they're just leading us along, and all the threads are being sewn in. You know, burns someone to death, shoots a load of people, introduces us. This page reminded me of John Romita Jr. kind of having a go at that. You know, where he's got no shape, he's got no hips, he's got no nothing. He's just like poof. He's just solid. He's on the page, and that's very John Romita Jr. And there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, nice art style. Keeping it really modern with his oppo, you know. Yeah, but you could attack it if you wanted to come one way at this. If you wanted to come another way at this story, you could say this isn't Frank Castle. It's But how they've set this up, it's almost like he's the Punisher by accident. So he's trying to avenge the murder of his family. He's an ex-SHIELD operative. So he's got all the training, all the weaponry. Here's his mate. Right. And, you know, very on point for the modern age, rather than micro. But there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I can't, unless I really wanted to come at it from that angle, there is nothing wrong with this issue 1, I've got to say. And if they carry on in this way, it's an intriguing storyline. He's a good character who is single-minded in his mission of revenge. And, you know, here we go with all the flashbacks. So it's all what you want from a Punisher story. It's not Frank Castle in the park with Maria. But does that matter? Yeah, I really could have tackled this. Is this going to be the new Punisher for, you know, the next 45 years, for as long as the original Frank Castle lasted? I don't think so. But in the meanwhile, at the moment, this was a decent first issue. Don't believe anyone who's saying to you, oh, they've desecrated the grave of Frank Castle and all the rest of it. They just get away with it nicely enough. You know, all this is modern tech, you know, this is all SHIELD, modern sci-fi technology, which isn't Frank Castle. This isn't of the streets. And right at the end here, you know, we've got Mr. Hyde, which isn't of the streets either. But I don't know. It was just, it was a this is a decent romp of a comic of an issue 1. So it's not book of the week. It's not my most favourite Punisher book ever. Should it be called this? That's up for debate, really. To be fair, this could have been a great new character without all this Punisher, without all the energy stuff going on, and the ammo. This has all been done before. This could have been a great new cool mean character in the Marvel universe, but no, they've gone for the member berries. They've gone for the not a bait and switch as much, but anyway, it sounds like I'm moaning, but that was a decent first issue. I am not moaning. I'm just trying to, well, I don't know what I'm trying to do. Just waffle, as I normally do. So it's my channel. I can waffle how long I like. Just fast forward it, guys. Didn't think after issue 1, I didn't think for 1 minute that they follow it up so strongly. And if you've never, the thing I love about this comic book is if you had never watched the Transformers film, if you've never heard of the toys, and you picked up issue 1 last month and you picked up issue 2 this month, you are being clued right in. And you can't, there's something to be said about bringing in a new readership, a new fan base, whatever you want to call it. Daniel Warren Johnson on the writing and artist of this is absolutely superb. If this isn't a hit, I don't know what the sales are like on this comic book, but this deserves to be a hit. It really does. He's nailed the lot of it, and it's Optimus Prime and, believe it or not, Wiki. Yeah, and he's just going through the whole story of the Transformers, like I say, which is what I like. Meanwhile, introducing, I don't know if this is his girlfriend or I think it's his girlfriend. Or is it anyway, Carly. And I didn't think his art style would suit the Transformers, but there's something quite organic about his art style, that it's the human parts really, and it's not making the Transformers looking too robotic that is really working for me in this book. And it romps along. Like I said about Jeff Lemire and Phantom Road and Jonathan Hickman in Gods, where they just trudge along. It just trudges along, talk. And I know some storylines need that, but comic books are more suited to these kind of storylines. And when these writers and artists, and of which he is both, can nail it, it just romps along, and you just want to turn each page over. And you can tell what's going on. I mean, Slap, he changes, he transforms. Is it Starscream? Forgive me, because I'm not the biggest Transformers fan, but he kind of transforms, and he just, like, as a robot, he just slaps the F-16 pilot. And they have to eject. And this is a bit of backstory to, big clue to some of the characters that are going to be in the further Energon universe. Look at this artwork. Look at this for an action. That's just one panel. So, some artists would have done a double-page spread of that, an F-16 or whatever it is, crashing onto two Decepticons and another further one, you know, already transformed, blah blah. This is good stuff. This stuff, look, this detail stuff. Daniel Warren is really into it, and I hope he has the greatest success with this. Honestly, I do. Look at these panels. There's not an empty one. There's not an empty one here. Where there isn't anything, where there isn't something going on. There is no lazy storytelling. So he deserves all the success with this one. 100%. And that is my book of the week. And what a cover. What a cover. A Decepticon attacking someone inside. An F-16, whatever it is. F-14, I don't know. So, cover of the week. So that's book of the week. So cover of the week. If we only had pocket money enough on that spinner rack. Do you remember those little spinner racks? We only had enough money for one comic, and the cover was all important. When you were spinning that rack around, it was all important. Like, oh, this looks pretty cool. There's a Decepticon there, and he's happy to be attacking an F-16. This one looks mean and moody. The Punisher with 2 lasers. Batman with a ha 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 all on the walls. Moody. Wouldn't say it's action packed, but moody. I've got to say, as covers go, I love the poses on this. I love the minigun. I love this crouch here and these claws. I've got to say, with a comic called The Madness, you know, that's all you have to say, really, isn't it? Back to the superhero, you know, Shazam. If I was a kid and I was spinning the spinner, is this going to appeal to me? Yeah, I think there's something about this that's going to appeal to me. Got to say it. And I don't know if I'd be the same age and this would appeal to me, but that is beautiful artwork. Absolutely beautiful artwork. And this Tear Street face, there's something very evocative. Even that, why has she got playing cards in her hand? This skull with cobwebs. That is a beautiful piece of artwork. It really is. In a comic with Vampirella and Dracula called Rage, look, the candlelight. The more you stare at that piece of artwork, like a piece of classic artwork, the more you stare at it, the more you get from it. I've got to say, is a beautiful piece of art. But is it the cover of the week? Is it the cover that was going to get me buying it? Probably not. As beautiful as it is. Yeah, old Batman one, okay. We could say, ha ha, you're all right, it's the Joker, but you're not showing the Joker, are you? Shazam is the kid, yeah, we know, he says a word, and I don't know. You know. I think the Madness has got it all going on. I think the Punisher one is a bit static as well, if I'm honest. It's mean and moody with his lasers, but no, I'm going to, you know, I think these are the final 3, to be fair. And we're down to the final 2. And the grown-up me, the grown-up me loves this. That's a cover. I think that is a cover with an evil and the gun and the legs. That's got it all going. But I've got to say, for Action Pack cover of the week, I'm going to call it on Transformers issue 2. And I do believe that is Daniel Warren Johnson as well, who's done the cover. So that's the cover of the week. I do hope you have enjoyed that weekly foray into the best of what comic books has to offer from this week. And I hope you'll join me next week for the same. And thank you. It's my 50th one, so I was quite excited this week to be doing that. And if you have been following me, thank you so much. And until next week, I will bid everyone adios.